Have you ever felt lost, like you were wandering through a fog with no clear path ahead? Perhaps you faced moments when the weight of the world felt too heavy to carry, leaving you unsure of where to turn. This sense of feeling overwhelmed is something many of us experience at some point in our lives. But what if I told you that there's guidance waiting for us in the words of Jesus, teachings that can help us navigate these tumultuous times? Imagine a young woman named Sarah. She had dreams and hopes just like everyone else, but life threw her curveballs that left her questioning everything she believed in. After losing her job and facing a tough breakup, she often found herself sitting on her bed, staring out the window, feeling lost and alone. One day, while scrolling through her phone, she stumbled upon a verse from the Bible, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." In that moment, those words struck her like a ray of sunshine breaking through dark clouds. Jesus' invitation was not just for a time long ago, it was as if he was speaking directly to her heart today. This powerful message is an example of how Jesus offers comfort during our hardest times. It reminds us that even when we feel hopeless, we can find solace by turning to his teachings. As we explore the hidden teachings of Jesus that often go unspoken in churches today, it's essential to remember the context in which he shared these lessons. Jesus lived during times of great turmoil, political unrest, poverty, and societal division. Yet his focus remained on love and compassion for one another. He often used parables to convey profound truths about human nature and our relationship with God. For instance, consider the story of the Good Samaritan. In this parable, Jesus teaches us about love for our neighbor, showing kindness regardless of differences or backgrounds. This lesson is especially important today when divisiveness seems rampant in our world. It encourages us to reach out and help those who are struggling around us. Sarah's journey didn't end with one verse, it led her down a path of seeking more understanding about Jesus' teachings. She discovered countless messages about hope and resilience woven throughout Scripture that resonated deeply with her experiences. As we reflect on these hidden teachings together, let's remember to open our hearts and minds to their wisdom. Life may be filled with challenges, but through Jesus' words, we can find direction and purpose amidst confusion. So let's take a moment. How can we apply these timeless lessons in our own lives today? As we continue this journey through the hidden teachings of Jesus, let's explore the remarkable power of his words. Jesus had a unique ability to speak directly to the hearts of people who were struggling. His messages still hold immense meaning for us today, offering comfort and guidance during our most challenging times. Think about the phrase, "Love your neighbor as yourself." It sounds simple, but it holds a depth that resonates deeply. In a world where we often see division and conflict, these words remind us of the importance of compassion and understanding. Jesus understood that love can bridge gaps between people, healing wounds that divide us. Imagine if we all practiced this teaching, how much kinder our communities could be. Then there's the powerful message of forgiveness. Jesus taught us to forgive not just once but to forgive over and over again. He shared a story about a man who was forgiven a massive debt but then turned around and refused to forgive a smaller one owed to him. This parable highlights how easy it is to forget grace when we feel wronged. In our lives, we may hold on to grudges, letting anger cloud our hearts. By embracing Jesus' call to forgive, we can release ourselves from burdens and find peace. Compassion is another cornerstone of Jesus' teachings. He often reached out to the marginalized, those rejected by society, and lifted them up with kindness. Picture him sitting beside a woman at the well, offering her water and understanding while breaking societal norms. In our modern world, it's all too easy to overlook those who are struggling or different from us. By showing compassion as Jesus did, we can create a more inclusive and loving environment. As Sarah continued her exploration of these teachings, she began to reflect on how they applied to her own life. She realized that in her moments of despair, she was being called not only to seek help but also to extend it to others in need. Inspired by Jesus' example of love and kindness, she started volunteering at a local shelter, finding purpose in helping those who felt lost just as she once did. These powerful lessons, love, forgiveness, compassion, are timeless messages meant for everyone. They challenge us to look beyond ourselves and connect with others on a deeper level. As you think about your own life today, consider how you can embody these teachings in your daily interactions. Reflect on this. What would it look like if you chose love over judgment? If you extended forgiveness rather than holding on to hurt? These are not just words from ancient texts, they are calls to action that invite us into a life filled with purpose and connection. Let's take this moment to embrace these teachings and see how they can transform our lives for the better. As we delve deeper into the teachings of Jesus, it's important to understand the historical and cultural context in which he lived. This backdrop helps us grasp the meaning behind his messages and how they were even more essential during his time. Imagine a world filled with turmoil, where hope seemed scarce, and yet a profound voice emerged to offer guidance. Jesus lived in Judea over 2,000 years ago, during a period marked by political oppression, social strife, and spiritual longing. The Romans ruled with an iron fist, causing deep divisions among the people. Many Jewish communities felt marginalized, struggling under heavy taxation and laws from their conquerors. In such an environment, feelings of hopelessness were common as people sought freedom and solace amidst chaos. But it's crucial to remember that even when society felt fractured, a movement was brewing. Jesus' teachings were revolutionary because they spoke to everyday people who were experiencing real anguish. He reached out to fishermen by the shores of Galilee and addressed crowds made up of peasants, women, and children, people who often felt invisible or unworthy. In a traditional society that valued honor above all else, Jesus broke cultural norms by communicating love and acceptance to outcasts and sinners. His story of the Good Samaritan is particularly striking in this context. Samaritans were viewed with disdain by Jews at the time due to long-standing animosities. Yet, Jesus used this parable to illustrate that compassion should transcend cultural barriers, a lesson that holds true even in our segregated world today. Let's consider another key moment, when Jesus turned water into wine at a wedding in Cana. This event wasn't merely a miracle, it showed his understanding of joy and community. Weddings were significant celebrations in Jewish culture, symbolizing not just union but also hope for future generations. By performing this miracle, Jesus emphasized that he cared about people's happiness amid life's pressures, the idea that enjoying life is intertwined with faith. Sarah found herself reflecting on these historical moments as she learned more about Jesus. She realized that his teachings weren't delivered in a vacuum but were responses to the pain and struggles of his time. As she pondered these lessons with their rich context, she began to see how they applied deeply to her own circumstances today. So now, think about your life. How can understanding the challenges faced by people during Jesus' time help you relate better to his messages? The cultural background allows us to appreciate the depth of his words even more. They are not simply ancient phrases, they resonate with our modern struggles for love, belonging, and purpose amidst chaos. As we continue exploring these hidden teachings, let this understanding inspire you to embrace them fully, not just as teachings from history but as truths meant for your heart today. As we explore the hidden teachings of Jesus, it's fascinating to uncover the lesser-known messages that often go unnoticed. These teachings hold incredible wisdom and practical applications for our everyday lives, providing guidance in ways that might surprise you. One such teaching comes from Matthew 5 verse 39, where Jesus says, "But I tell you, do not resist an evil person. If anyone slaps you on the right cheek, turn to them the other cheek also." This message challenges a common belief about justice and retaliation. It doesn't mean we should allow ourselves to be mistreated, rather, it invites us to respond to conflict with grace instead of anger. Imagine someone speaking harshly to you or provoking a confrontation. Instead of retaliating or lashing back, turning the other cheek encourages us to break the cycle of hurt and respond with calmness and dignity. In doing so, we can transform a tense situation into a moment of peace. Another hidden gem is found in Luke 12 verses 22 to 26, where Jesus tells his followers not to worry about their lives or what they will eat or wear. He emphasizes that life is more than food and the body more than clothes. This teaching speaks volumes in today's world, where many of us carry the weight of anxiety about our future and material concerns. Jesus reminds us that if God takes care of the birds of the air and the flowers in the field, how much more will he provide for us? This invitation to trust can empower us to let go of stress and focus on what truly matters, our relationships and inner peace. Consider also his teaching in John 13 verses 34 to 35, where Jesus gives a new commandment: love one another. As I have loved you, so you must love one another. This directive not only calls for love but challenges us to embody a love that mirrors his own, selfless and unconditional. Sarah found renewed strength in these words as she learned to express love and kindness even in small, everyday interactions. It reminded her that kindness doesn't need grand gestures, even a smile or a helping hand can make a difference in someone else's day. These teachings may not always be emphasized in church sermons, yet they resonate profoundly in our daily lives. Sarah began actively incorporating these lessons into her life by practicing patience when faced with frustration or reaching out to support a friend in need. She discovered that small acts of love ripple outward, creating a positive impact in her community. So ask yourself, how can these lesser-known teachings change your perspective on challenges you face? Whether it's about handling conflict, trusting in provision, or embracing love, these messages offer timeless wisdom that can guide us through life's complexities. By committing to practice them daily, we not only enrich our lives but also uplift those around us, creating a legacy of compassion and hope that echoes Jesus' teachings through generations. As we journey further into the hidden teachings of Jesus, let's delve into some of his most engaging parables that bring these lessons to life. These stories not only illustrate his messages but also make them accessible and relatable to us today. One of the most famous parables is that of the Good Samaritan, found in Luke 10 verses 25 to 37. In this story, Jesus tells of a man traveling from Jerusalem to Jericho who falls victim to robbers. Stripped of his belongings and left for dead, he is ignored by both a priest and a Levite, religious leaders who might be expected to help. But then a Samaritan, someone from a group despised by the Jews, stops to help him. He bandages the man's wounds and takes him to an inn, paying for his care. This story speaks volumes about compassion and mercy, particularly in how it challenges societal norms. The Samaritan didn't see ethnicity or social status, he simply saw someone in need. In today's world, where division often prevails, this parable invites us to reflect, who do we overlook? How can we extend kindness beyond our comfort zones? Sarah was deeply moved by this story, realizing that acts of compassion could bridge gaps between people from different walks of life. Another powerful teaching comes from the parable of the lost sheep in Matthew 18 verses 12 to 14. Here, Jesus describes a shepherd who leaves 99 sheep to search for one that has gone astray. When he finds it, he rejoices more over that one lost sheep than over the 99 that were safe. This teaches us about God's relentless love for each of us, how important every individual is in his eyes. Imagine feeling lost or alone, much like that one sheep. This parable reassures us that even when we stray away or feel unworthy, we are still valued and loved beyond measure. It speaks to the heart of anyone who has ever felt overlooked or undervalued in their life. Sarah found comfort knowing that she was never truly lost, she was always seen and cherished by God. Lastly, let's consider the parable of the mustard seed from Matthew 13 verses 31 to 32. In this story, Jesus compares the kingdom of heaven to a mustard seed, a tiny seed that grows into a large tree where birds find shelter. This teaching encourages us to recognize how small actions can lead to significant change. Sometimes we feel our efforts are insignificant or don't matter at all. But just as the mustard seed grows into something great, our small acts of love and kindness can have monumental impacts on those around us. As you reflect on these parables, think about how they resonate with your own experiences and challenges today. What would it look like for you to become a good Samaritan in your community? How can you remember your worth as God sees you? And what tiny seeds can you plant in your daily life that may grow into something beautiful? These stories remind us that Jesus' teachings aren't just ancient tales, they're timeless truths meant to inspire action in our lives today. Let's embrace these lessons fully so we can create a ripple effect of understanding and compassion throughout our communities. As we continue to explore the hidden teachings of Jesus, let's take a moment to reflect on some key messages that stand out amidst the parables and stories. These teachings offer us profound insights that can easily be grasped and applied in our everyday lives, illuminating paths through our struggles. One fundamental message Jesus shared is about love, specifically, unconditional love. In Matthew 22 verses 37 to 39, Jesus tells us to love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your mind. He follows this with the command to love your neighbor as yourself. This dual commandment emphasizes that love is at the core of our faith. It's not always easy to love ourselves or others, especially during difficult times, but reflecting on this teaching can inspire us to practice kindness and understanding, even when it's challenging. Consider how this applies to Sarah's life. After feeling overwhelmed and isolated, she began to consciously choose love over fear. When encountering a rude clerk or an impatient driver, instead of reacting negatively, she reminded herself of this teaching. With each small act of love, whether it was offering a smile or helping someone in need, Sarah discovered that love transformed her heart and created a ripple effect around her. Another powerful message from Jesus speaks to forgiveness. In Matthew 6 verses 14 to 15, he teaches that if we forgive others their trespasses, our Heavenly Father will also forgive us. Holding on to grudges can weigh heavily on our hearts, impacting our mental and emotional well-being. This teaching encourages us to release hurt and embrace healing. It's an invitation to look at the bigger picture. Forgiving doesn't excuse the wrong done but frees us from the burden of carrying that pain. Take a moment to reflect on your own life. Is there someone you need to forgive? Jesus' words remind us that forgiveness is not just for the one who wronged us but is a gift we give ourselves. Sarah found peace when she let go of past hurts. She realized that each time she chose forgiveness, it lightened her load. Lastly, let's explore the message of trust in God's provision as expressed in Matthew 6 verses 25 to 27. Here, Jesus tells us not to worry about our lives, what we will eat or wear, because life is more than those concerns. This teaching challenges us to shift our focus from anxiety about the future to trust in God's care. Sarah learned to take this message to heart during tough financial times. Instead of letting fear consume her, she began seeking gratitude for what she had. By practicing trust and recognizing God's provision in her daily life, Sarah found a sense of peace that transformed her perspective on challenges. As we ponder these key messages, love, forgiveness, and trust, let's consider how they apply in our own lives today. How can we embrace love more fully? Who might we need to forgive? What worries can we surrender? These teachings are not merely ideals, they are pathways leading us toward deeper connections with ourselves and others. Let's commit to applying these timeless lessons so they can enrich our lives and those around us as we continue on this journey together. As we reflect on the powerful teachings of Jesus, it's essential to connect these timeless messages to our own personal struggles. Each of us faces challenges that can feel overwhelming, and it's in these moments that Jesus' words can offer profound comfort and guidance. Imagine Sarah once more, navigating her daily life as she grapples with her feelings of stress and uncertainty. She finds herself stuck in a job that drains her energy and dampens her spirit, leaving her feeling lost and unfulfilled. During this time of struggle, she remembers Jesus' commandment to love one another. But what does that truly mean when you're exhausted or feeling underappreciated? This is where the beauty of Jesus' teachings shines. They remind us that love starts from within. For Sarah, it became crucial to practice self-love first. This meant acknowledging her feelings of frustration but also choosing to treat herself with kindness. Instead of focusing on what wasn't working in her life, she began to appreciate the small things: a morning cup of coffee, a kind word from a friend, or even a moment spent in nature. By recognizing these moments, Sarah realized that love isn't just about grand gestures, it's often found in the quiet simplicity of everyday life. Think about your own challenges for a moment. Are there areas in your life where you feel stuck or depleted? What would it look like for you to bring more love into those spaces? Maybe it means forgiving yourself for past mistakes or opening your heart to new opportunities. Just like Sarah learned, embracing love within us first can change how we face external struggles. Another teaching that resonates deeply is Jesus' message about forgiveness. We've touched on its power earlier, but now let's delve into its application in real-life scenarios. Picture someone who has hurt you, a friend who betrayed your trust, or a family member with whom you've had a falling out. Holding on to these grievances can weigh heavily on our hearts, but true freedom comes when we choose to forgive. Forgiveness doesn't mean condoning the behavior. Instead, it's about releasing ourselves from the burden of anger and resentment. Sarah found herself reflecting on someone who had wronged her in the past. Rather than dwell on the hurt, she decided to reach out with an open heart. That simple act not only healed old wounds but also liberated her from emotional chains she didn't even realize she was carrying. Lastly, let's think about trust, the trust that God will provide for us even during uncertain times. Life is often unpredictable, filled with ups and downs that can lead us into cycles of worry and anxiety. As Sarah reviewed her situation at work alongside her financial concerns, she chose to remember Jesus' teaching about trusting God's provision. She began to pray and seek guidance rather than allowing fear to paralyze her choices. This invitation to trust encourages us to take action, whether it's pursuing new job opportunities or leaning into our community for support. Reflecting on your own situations, how can you cultivate trust in God's plan for you? What steps might you take today to let go of anxiety and embrace faith? As we consider these teachings from Jesus, let's allow them to stir our hearts and guide our actions. Think back through your own experiences. What resonates with you most? By bringing love into your struggles, choosing forgiveness where needed, and trusting God's provision, you too can transform challenges into opportunities for growth and connection. Let's carry these lessons forward, applying them each day as we strive to live richer, more compassionate lives together. As we come to the end of this exploration into the hidden teachings of Jesus, let's take a moment for a heartfelt reflection on the core values that can help us rise above our struggles: love, kindness, and hope. These principles are not just words, they are powerful forces that can transform our lives and the lives of those around us. Think about Sarah, who faced overwhelming challenges in her life. In her journey, she discovered that love begins within. It's easy to forget to be kind to ourselves when we're caught up in feelings of stress or inadequacy. Yet, Jesus reminds us that loving ourselves is the first step toward extending love to others. When we practice self-compassion, we become vessels of kindness in a world that often feels harsh and unforgiving. Consider how you might embrace love in your own life. Are there moments when you're too hard on yourself? Perhaps you've made mistakes or felt unworthy. Remember, everyone has their struggles. This is part of being human. By treating yourself with kindness and understanding, you create space to heal and grow. This inner transformation allows you to approach others with an open heart, ready to offer compassion rather than judgment. Next, let's reflect on kindness, the simple yet profound act of reaching out to others. In our busy lives, it's easy to overlook opportunities for small gestures that can make a big difference. A smile at a stranger, a helping hand for someone in need, or a kind word can brighten someone's day significantly. Jesus' teachings encourage us to be aware of those around us and respond with empathy. Sarah found strength in extending acts of kindness even when she felt vulnerable herself. Each time she helped someone else, she realized it also lifted her spirits and reminded her that she was not alone in her struggles. Kindness creates connections, it builds bridges where walls once stood. Finally, let's explore the importance of hope. Life can sometimes feel heavy with uncertainty and fear about the future. Yet, hope is what keeps us moving forward during dark times. It allows us to believe in better days ahead and motivates us to act toward positive change. Jesus' messages remind us that God is always with us, providing care even amidst chaos. When Sarah leaned into her faith and trusted in God's provision, she found renewed strength and clarity about her path forward. Hope isn't just wishful thinking, it's an active choice to believe that something good can emerge from every challenge we face. As we close this chapter on Jesus' hidden teachings, I invite you to bring these values into your daily life. Embrace love for yourself and others, practice acts of kindness without hesitation, and cultivate hope as a guiding light through difficult times. Reflect on how these teachings resonate with your experiences today. How can you foster love within? Who might benefit from your kindness? What challenges can you face with renewed hope? By embodying these principles daily, together we can create a compassionate world filled with understanding and support, just as Jesus envisioned for all of humanity. Let's carry these lessons forward as we continue our journey together. As we reach the conclusion of our journey exploring the hidden teachings of Jesus, it's time to take what we've learned and put it into action. We've talked about love, kindness, forgiveness, and trust, essential principles that can significantly impact our lives and those around us. Now, I invite you to consider a practical challenge for the week ahead, one that encourages you to embody these teachings in your daily interactions. Think about the people you encounter in your everyday life, your friends, family, coworkers, and even strangers. Each interaction holds the potential for love and kindness. This week, your challenge is to perform 3 intentional acts of kindness. These act as small yet powerful reminders of Jesus' teachings. These acts don't need to be grand gestures, they can be simple yet meaningful. Perhaps it could start with a compliment for someone who seems downcast, a few genuine words that let them know they are seen and appreciated. Imagine how uplifting it feels to receive kind words. Now imagine being able to pass that positivity along to someone else. Another way to fulfill this challenge could be offering help. Maybe you notice a neighbor struggling with their groceries or a friend feeling overwhelmed with their workload. Extend a helping hand without expecting anything in return. It might be as simple as holding the door for someone or sharing a moment to listen when someone needs to talk. Think about your own actions this week. Try to cultivate an attitude of mindfulness surrounding kindness. As you go about your day, keep an open heart and watch out for opportunities to sprinkle love into mundane moments. Even the smallest acts can create ripples of joy and compassion. And we can't forget about forgiveness. Reflect on whether there's a lingering grudge that's been weighing on your heart. Perhaps it's time to let it go. Choose one person you need to forgive this week, even if only in your heart. Remember that forgiveness is not just about freeing someone else, it's about liberating yourself from the pain you carry. At the end of the week, take a moment for reflection. How did these acts of kindness affect your mood? What was the response from those around you? Did letting go of resentment change how you feel about that person? By actively implementing these teachings into your life, you create an environment where love thrives. As we embrace this challenge together, remember that every act of kindness adds up, building a legacy of compassion in our communities, just as Jesus envisioned. Let's embody his teachings with purpose and intention, transforming our daily interactions into opportunities for connection and support. So, are you ready? This week is not just another week, it is a chance to live out love, kindness, and hope more fully than ever before. Let's take these steps together and witness firsthand how small actions can lead to much greater impacts in our lives and those around us. As we conclude our exploration of the hidden teachings of Jesus, I want to leave you with a warm message of encouragement. Life can often feel like a tempest, tossing us about with waves of uncertainty, doubt, and struggle. In these moments, it's easy to feel isolated, as if we are navigating through darkness alone. But remember, you are not alone in your struggles. There is a guiding light that shines brightly even in the toughest times. Throughout this journey, we've uncovered powerful messages about love, kindness, forgiveness, and hope, principles that Jesus taught not just for his time but for all generations. These teachings are like a lifeline thrown to us when we feel adrift. They remind us that we have the strength to rise above our challenges and that we can connect deeply with others who share similar burdens. Think back to Sarah. She learned through her hardships that Jesus' teachings were more than just words, they were a source of comfort and direction. Each lesson she embraced helped her navigate through her stormy seas. When she chose love over fear, she found the courage to reach out and connect with others. When forgiveness felt hard, she discovered that letting go healed her heart. And in moments of uncertainty, she leaned into hope, trusting that better days were ahead. Now, I encourage you to reflect on your own life and the struggles you may be facing right now. What storms are you weathering? Is it a relationship that feels strained? A job that drains your spirit? Or perhaps feelings of inadequacy and self-doubt? Whatever it may be, know that the teachings of Jesus can guide you through these challenges. Consider how you can apply love in your interactions this week. Perhaps you can start by being kinder to yourself, acknowledging your worth and treating yourself with compassion. As you practice self-love, you'll find it easier to extend that same kindness to others. Remember that everyone around you is fighting their battles too. A simple act of kindness can make a world of difference. Forgiveness is another powerful tool in your journey. It may not come easily, but freeing yourself from past hurts is a gift worth giving, not just to others but to yourself as well. Each step toward forgiveness brings you closer to peace. And finally, hold on to hope. It is a beacon in the darkest of nights. Trust that there is a greater plan at work, even when things seem bleak. Reach out for support when needed. Remember that community is essential for our shared journeys. As we part ways today, carry these teachings with you, let love guide your actions, share kindness freely, forgive where needed, and nurture hope in your heart. You are never truly alone. The teachings of Jesus are here to guide you through every struggle. Embrace them fully and watch as they transform your life and the lives of those around you. Together, let's continue to build a compassionate world where love thrives and hope flourishes.